Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Ontario Vintage Tractor. If it's your first time tuning in, again, my name's Rick, and we'd like to thank you for taking your time to check out the channel. If you could like and subscribe down at the bottom for us, it'd be really great, help the channel grow. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of maintenance on our 1954 Allis Chalmers CA. If you watch a few previous videos, you'll see that I had an issue with it, with the floats sinking in the carburetor and it flooding. It happened again. My repair on the floats didn't work, and it's a rainy, crappy day, so I figure why not fix it. I do have a set of used floats here we're going to try and put in it. So stay tuned, and let's get after it. Okay, so first things first, we got to get the carburetor off, and then we'll get it on the bench and start taking it apart. So they're fairly simple to get off. It's just a 7/16 fuel line, and then two 1/2-inch bolts on top, and a couple of linkages in behind. Alright, so we have the carburetor off. That's the one off the CA right there, small bowl marble. I have a spare one. This came off of our 1950 WD that you see me using primarily on the farm. This one wasn't perfect, so we swapped it out with a Zenith that we had in stock and threw it on for that tractor. However, this one has good parts in it that we're going to hope to use to fix this one. And we got a little bit of help in the shop today. I don't know if anyone's ever seen this guy before, but if we look down here, that's my 3.5-year-old Great Dane Chase. Chase, say hi. See? Follows me everywhere. So we'll go ahead and get this carburetor opened up first. It's just 4 flathead screws on the top of the carburetor. I prefer the marble Sheblers over the Zenith Carbs. Dropping everything today. I find them a little more simple to work on. I mean, everyone has their own opinion, but I like these ones. Easier to set up, easier to work on. Also, pretty easy to get parts for. So when you go to open these up, you want to be careful. There is a base gasket right here. I know this one has new gaskets in it, plus they're soaked in fuel. It's probably going to easily come apart, but normally when you open these up, you're going to want to have a new gasket handy. So that one's still in good shape. So they're fairly simple. There's your floats, your needle and seat. If you look at this, you see these dabs of solder here. That's where I tried to repair these floats. When I first pulled them out, they were all sunk in. So what I normally do is I'll take a very small drill bit, and what I'll do is I will drill into it, blow some compressed air in, and that expands them back out, and put a small dab of solder on there. Now you got to be very careful because they got to be a certain weight to remain buoyant. I think that's what's happened here is I've got too much solder on it and they sunk again. So we'll get the floats out of that one and the needle and seat and go from there. We'll go ahead and open up the other one here. There's where it's getting a little bit sticky. So the gasket stayed with that one. These floats aren't compacted at all, so they should still be good. This car was in rough shape though. Get a pair of pliers here. Hopefully we can get this out of here. Yep, no worries. So I had this in the ultrasonic cleaner a couple times, so everything is freed up nicely. But those are what we're looking to harvest, and then obviously the needle and seat that this controls. I'll go ahead and pull the seat out. Can't remember what kind of shape this one was in, but I guess we'll find out. May end up continuing to use ours before, and then I'll order another one. I usually tend to order my carburetor parts from DJS Tractor Parts out of Michigan. They're Shipping's quick, their pricing is good, and they know their Allis stuff. The needle, the seat itself looks good. This needle is Teflon coated, so it should be a good one as well. So, once we put it in, I'll show you how to test it. So we're going to go ahead and use the original seat out of the CA. It looks like it's in a little better shape. And we'll use the needle out of the parts carb and the floats. It's nice once you start doing a lot of this stuff, you end up having a pile of spare parts around to make things happen when you have breakdowns. I mean, it's inevitable when you're running old equipment, these things are going to happen. It's nice to be able to sort it out without having to go buy parts all the time. So, usually parts are a waiting thing. So, we got our Teflon coated needle. We're going to put that down inside the seat there. Grab our floats. We'll go ahead and clean these off a little bit. They are brass, so they tend to tarnish up. Grab our rod here. Put it back in. So they move nice and freely. You can see the, I don't know if you can see it in there, the needle is dropping down, so we know that's going to allow fuel flow. Rule of thumb from what I hear, I'm not sure if it's completely accurate or not because I don't have a factory manual, but all the carb kits I get say you want about an 1/8 inch distance between the floats and this gasket. Now that one's probably good. I'll grab a measure, or some sort of feeler gauge, and you can see this one's off, so they're definitely different heights. So I'll go ahead and adjust that. Okay. So then what we're going to do to test this is we're going to put some air in here. That's your fuel inlet. And see if we can't close it off and make the airflow stop. So bear with me here. I'll go get the air line. So that's closed off right now. We'll go this way, make life a little easier for ourselves. So this should allow fuel to flow. And I got fuel coming out. And when I close it, it works. So we know our fuel supply shutoff is functioning. So we'll go ahead and reassemble this carb now that we know that our shutoff's working. I've already tested these floats. I floated them in gasoline. I know they don't sink, so we'll give that a go. Just gonna get rid of this fuel that's in the bowl. This carburetor is very, very nice and clean inside. So it should drop together really nice and smooth. If you have to force it, something's not right, so take it back apart and figure out where you've gone wrong. Oh, so much for good hired help. He's laying down on the job. Right, Chase? Laying down on the job, are you? He's just happy to be where I am all the time. I know it's everybody's preference, but or not everybody's preference, I should say, but I couldn't live without a dog. I'd be beside myself. Where's our other carburetor bolt here? I really should take my own advice and do a better job of putting things aside when I take things apart. But we'll go ahead and get this buttoned up and get it put back on, fire it up. We got the throttle linkage hooked up. The choke linkage is on, but we wait till it's all the way on to do a final adjustment. And now we are going to put in the mounting bolts to the intake manifold. And in the very near future, once the rest of my parts come in for this tractor, it's getting a nice chrome stat from GJS as well. So we'll make a video out of changing the intake manifold gasket and also putting on the stack. I almost screwed up. You got to put the air vent on, or the air duct on, before you put the carburetor up. Otherwise, you don't have enough room to squeeze it in there. You want to get your fuel line lined up at the same time as well. It is a steel hard line, so they can be difficult to get in. We have the carburetor reinstalled. We're going to go ahead and fire it up and see if we won. So normally what it would do is after it would idle like this for a bit, it would just load right up and shut down and flood itself. So let it run for a little bit here and see what it does. I think we got it. Don't have any flooding, I'd say call it fixed. Now that we got the CA all tuned up, everything seems to be in order. Still waiting on a few parts, and we had a viewer ask if we could do a video on it. Basically where all the service plugs are and where the fills are. We absolutely will do that as soon as I get my rest of my parts from DJ's, and we'll go through the whole tractor. I'm not sure if I'm going to be 100% accurate, but I'll do the best I can for you. I'll take you outside to what we did yesterday. We drove probably 4 hours or maybe even 5 round trip, and we picked up a couple international hay rakes so that we can recondition and sell. So we'll go outside and have a look at those. So here's our score from yesterday. 2 international model 14 rakes. I'll get you guys spun around here. This one was working, however it did need some work. So the cable for the release for the drive, I had to put a new one of those on. Grease the whole thing. As well as I had to adjust the chain and retension it here, and this cover was broken off, so we reattached that. So that'll be a good unit for somebody. I did pick these up just to flip them. However, and then I noticed this. They're McCormick International, and if you've watched more of my videos, you'll know that I have a 1951 McCormick W4, and I thought that that would look really cool painted up behind it. Jury's still out on what we're going to do there. I mean, I do have other rakes I could sell and keep this one if I wanted to. This one here is pretty much just a parts machine. It can be saved if you want to buy new teeth for it, which it's missing all of them, but it's not. It's under 300 bucks to buy the teeth, as well as a chain, but those chains are still available. So depending what the buyer wants to do, if he wants to take that one and this one as a parts machine, I'll sell it that way. Or if he just wants the one, I'll end up putting the parts into this one to fix it. So that was our score for yesterday. So that's going to do it for today's episode of Ontario Vintage Tractor. Once again, thanks for tuning in. And if you could like and subscribe down at the bottom, it'd be greatly appreciated. And until next time, stay safe and have a great day.